I don't know how often you've thought about this, but your favorite golf course, wherever it may be, most likely started out looking like this. And then at some point, a very talented artist, a golf course architect, came along and carved through the woods the beautiful courses you enjoy today. Well, on today's program, we're going to introduce you to one of the best, most talented artists in the entire game. His name is Mike DeVries, and we're going to visit his trail of courses throughout Michigan. Stick around.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, celebrating our 20th season of shining the spotlight on the best places to stay, play, and enjoy the greatest game on earth. Stay connected 24/7 to MGL on Facebook, Twitter, our weekly radio show, and podcasts on the all-new 4golfersnetwork.com.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Bill Hobson. Thank you for joining us today as we do something a little bit different. Today we're not necessarily featuring a specific destination or a region, but instead we're highlighting the work of one of the great golf course architects in the game today. His name is Mike DeVries. We're going to take you on a tour of what we're calling the DeVries Golf Trail throughout Michigan. We'll start in the greater Grand Rapids area with a trio of really good courses before we jump in the car and head way up to Michigan's Upper Peninsula in Marquette, where we find the award-winning and highly acclaimed Graywalls. So, today's feature is 4 different destinations, 1 architect, and an incredible opportunity for you to tee it up at every one of them. So, right off the bat, let's say hello to the man himself, Mike DeVries, as we get rolling on this DeVries Trail Special. I cannot wait to take you all on the Mike DeVries Golf Trail throughout Michigan from Marquette to Grand Rapids, and we are going to begin first by saying hi to Mike DeVries, and second by starting our tour at Diamond Springs, which is about 35 minutes from downtown Grand Rapids.
Yep.
What's that property like?
Really cool. Generally a flat piece of property, pure sand, and then the front 9 has a bunch of eskers, which are these long, skinny ridges, about 10 to 15 to 20 feet high, and they crisscross the property, and those are like the perfect size for a tee, a green, or even as like a hazard to drive over, place bunkers into, and things like that. And then the back 9 is dominated by this old valley that was actually a mill a long time ago, and now it's just a wetland and a creek down and below this 20, 30 foot deep valley that's maybe 100, 200 feet wide.
And all these years later, how well do you recall the days of construction and shaping?
Well, each one's like one of your kids, so you remember all these things, and each one has its own special kind of take on it. And there in particular, the 14th and the 15th hole, which is where you really start to experience the ravine, 14 being a little short par 3, and then 15 being this short 4 that's drivable for guys that want to try and carry the entire ravine right to the edge of the green, but then having a big hogback for a landing area gives a lot of different options for people and characters, which is really fun.
Well, it's a great place for us to start our tour on the DeVries Golf Trail, so let's head over to Diamond Springs. We head out to the countryside in the greater Grand Rapids area for our first stop along the DeVries Golf Trail, and we come to Diamond Springs, where Kevin Arnold has been here since just after the course opened up.
Soon after, yep.
Nobody knows it better than you. So what did Mike DeVries do with this beautiful property?
He enhanced it, but the fun of all these green complexes mixed in with all this terrain, it's just beautiful out here. Very few houses, and it's just quiet serenity. You feel like you're up north, and here we are just south of Grand Rapids.
Well, we pulled into a full parking lot, so clearly people have discovered Diamond Springs.
They have found us, as the old line, if you build it, they will come, and they found us. And
well, let's talk about your favorite stretches of this course. I know the back 9 is pretty special to you.
It's pretty special, but my absolute favorite hole is number 2, actually. It's a shorter par 4, and it's got a wonderful green complex, and just love that. But and as you work your way through the front 9, I'll mention hole 6. I call it our U.S. Open hole because I think any U.S. Open venue would like to have it. It's about 460 from the blues, and there's all sorts of fun stuff on it. But then when you get back here, you find the ravine. And we've got some of the fun, challenging holes here that if you're off a little bit, you're going to find the bottom of our ravine.
You were telling me off camera a little bit earlier that there's a famous stretch of holes down in Georgia known as Amen Corner, and here you have kind of an oh no corner.
Yeah, it's a little, oh yeah, I'm here now, I have to play this. And that's starting, I think starting on 13 kind of warms you up with those, with the wonderful bunker complexes. And then you get to 14, and 14 through 18, you have to either hit over a ravine or by a ravine. And so it grabs your attention.
We can talk about this place all day, but I think it's extra fun to have some of the paying customers sing its praises, Jason and James. So what is it about Diamond Springs that you like the most?
I just like the playability of the course, and the natural terrain is very easy to walk, and I'm a walker most times, so just really enjoy it. It's peaceful, and you feel like you're out in the elements a little bit, and away from the crowded streets, and like I said, the natural terrain is well to play.
Yeah, and is it true he's never missed a fairway?
That was the first time he's ever missed a fairway.
Just now? Just happened before
right
this?
now, yes.
Camera pressure.
Yes.
What do you like
absolutely.
about Diamond Springs?
You know, as much as what Jason said, I feel the same exact way. The affordability of this course, number one, is very good. The playability is very good. Excellent greens, fairways are beautiful, and it's playable for all handicap levels.
The general manager here at Diamond Springs is Mike Scrotenboer, and what a setting you have. Mike DeVries did some very special things with this property, didn't he?
He did. He made it to where we can have it a family atmosphere, get a lot of people out here to play, outings, special events. We've had some graduation open houses, and the outings of 120 plus players tend to go really well for us.
It's such a beautiful setting, and I've seen people walking. It's a very walkable course, and of course we have the carts going, and fathers and sons, and husbands and wives. It's a little bit of everything here.
It is, and we've gotten a lot of walkers. It's a very walkable course. Crossing the bridges one time, you have to do that twice. Other than that, it is, minimal yardage from green to the next tee box.
Still hard to believe that we're just a few minutes away from downtown Grand Rapids, as quiet as it is out here. You're blessed with quite a special setting.
We are.
Welcome back to our special edition, the DeVries Golf Trail, taking you to 4 of the premier properties designed by this guy, Mike DeVries. And our next stop takes us a little bit north of Grand Rapids, technically in Pearson, Michigan, to one of my favorite courses anywhere, Pilgrims Run. And you helped shape that, along with some contributions from a number of others. Take us back to the construction days of Pilgrims Run.
Yeah, it's a very unique process. We had 6 people that worked for Mr. Van Kampen that were involved and co-designed 3 holes apiece with us. And us meaning Chris Shoemaker, who was the superintendent and built the golf course with me. And so we were really responsible for collaborating with them and then providing a cohesive 18 holes that doesn't feel like it's 6 different individuals imparting a certain design philosophy on only their 3 holes.
Is that more difficult than doing it all yourself? You have 6 different voices and 6 different sets of ideas?
Well, in certain cases, yeah, because everyone's different, has a different vision or a different idea of golf or what they want it to be. So it was really fun. I mean, it was a different sort of emphasis on what you do, and kind of like if you do a renovation of a golf course or an existing club where you have 300 members or something like that, you deal with a lot of personalities there too. But this was more intense as far as just the individual golf holes and things like that.
Well, the theme of Pilgrim's Run being tied into the classic novel Pilgrim's Progress, the flow of that course, the naming of the holes, it has such character to it. I can't get enough of playing there.
It's a great place. It really is. It's fantastic. The conditioning's great. Ken Hunt does a phenomenal job. He's been there since day one under Chris, and then took over for him. And then Jeff O'Malley and his crew, they do a great job of helping people out and getting them out in the golf course and taking care of them.
Well, with that preview, it's time for stop number 2 on the DeVries Golf Trail at Pilgrim's Run in Pearson. My friend Jeff O'Malley is the PGA professional here at Pilgrim's Run, about a half hour north of Grand Rapids. And this property has become one of my favorites for a lot of years. We were here with the TV show years ago.
Correct.
It's nice to be back on a perfect day at a perfect place.
Oh, it's good to have you back. And wow, we couldn't ask for better weather. It is just gorgeous. If you bring the weather with you, come back many times, please.
As we celebrate the artistry of Mike DeVries, I know that here at Pilgrims Run, it was part of a team effort. What happened on this beautiful property?
Correct. The owner hired Chris Shoemaker as a superintendent. He came out and routed the course. And then he brought in Mike DeVries, who did the bunkering and the greens, because he likes that rolling greens and the bunkers that kind of have a little swell to them. So he did a great job touching that area in.
Well, I brought with me my cheat sheet known as your scorecard because there's a unique characteristic of Pilgrims Run. The inspiration for the property comes from the ownership, and it's based on a very classic novel called Pilgrim's Progress. So explain to us, if you would, how that all connects into the kind of the ethos of Pilgrims Run.
Well, Mr. Van Campen really enjoyed the book Pilgrim's Progress, and so we named the course Pilgrims Run, and each hole out here has a name, is named after something in the book.
Number 3 is probably my favorite hole name on the golf course, the Slough of Despond.
Correct. It's our number 1 handicap hole. Got a nice little wetland down the left side and it's tree line down the right. A few bunkers there. Big tree split like a V on the left side of the fairway. So you got to kind of manipulate your tee shot, and you really want to be left center of the fairway, which means you need to hit a little bit of a draw off the tee.
We move over to number 4, and it's called Deception. Now, it's a relatively short par 3. What's the deception?
Well, when you go to hit your shot, you've got to carry it onto the green. If you come up a little bit short, think it's a short hole, I'll just hit my wedge up there. If you don't hit it good, hit short of the green, it'll roll all the way down. So you've probably got a 10-yard pitch shot.
Number 18, the home hole, is a stunner. And as you stand on that tee box trying to pick out your landing spot, probably a good idea to be realistic on the distance you can hit the ball.
Correct, you're exactly right.
This is where egos come crashing down, and it's called Entice.
Correct. What the hole does, it's a par 4, goes out, dog legs right, big lake out in front of it. So entice means sometimes you like to get up there and try to cut a little bit more off than you should, which probably isn't the best thing to do. The shot actually is to the left of the 100 mark. If you put a little red stake there, just be left of that. And the green sets up a whole lot longer, so your shot's coming in a little deeper to the green. If you go over the water and happen to get it across, then your shot's into a narrower green, not as deep, so it's a more difficult shot.
Well, the combination of the routing here and then what Mike DeVries did has, I've told hundreds of people in person over the years that I think Pilgrims Run is as good as any golf course in the state of Michigan. And I know you're not shy about saying the same thing. This is a stunner.
Well, we're pretty excited about the project here, and we've been well received by the golfers, and we really appreciate them. So no complaints here. They keep coming back every year. It's just great to see them, and definitely keeping busy. So when you call for tee times, call in advance.
I told you were going to love Pilgrims Run. That is a beautiful property, as is our next stop on the DeVries Golf Trail. Mike, we head to the Mines, which is a unique property because it's so close to downtown Grand Rapids. But when you're on the course, I don't think you'd believe you were that close to downtown Grand Rapids.
It's very unique because it feels like up north golf in the middle of a metro area. So it's a really special piece of property that's over a portion of the old gypsum mines in Grand Rapids. And so there's great undulation, really good sandy soil up there, and they can't use it for other types of uses. It could not be a commercial, housing development or anything like that. But if we get a sinkhole, it's just another bunker.
Well, there were some beautiful par 3s on that course. I mean, the whole thing is really quite striking, but I remember the par 3s as being really special.
And a cluster of them is right in this sort of same area because it's a property that's divided by a road and then a big power line segment. And so there's this section where there was an old sand mine that they were just borrowing material from, and that sort of lent itself to 7, 8, and 11 kind of being close and fitting in these little pieces of the puzzle, and it's really a unique way to do that because they're very close, but they're all really different.
They are all really different. They're all very beautiful. This course is one that you will want to play whenever you're in the greater Grand Rapids area. So let's continue our DeVries Golf Trail special and take you now to the Mines. We are greeted by a perfect afternoon just minutes from downtown Grand Rapids as we showcase the Mines. Brad Steffen is the general manager here on this beautiful Mike DeVries property. And one of the greatest surprises for me, and perhaps for our viewers, is how close we are to downtown, and yet it feels like we're in the middle of nowhere here.
Yeah, I would say that definitely is kind of the unique part of this piece of property is the up north feel, and we're right 5 minutes from downtown Grand Rapids.
Well, we have seen evidence of the artistry of Mike DeVries. How do you describe what he did here?
I just think he used this piece of property and kind of the elevation changes to its potential. I think it's just a fun course to play, and just kind of, you never have a flat lie, just kind of unique.
One of the really interesting features here is on the 11th hole. That's where you and I are currently standing.
Yes.
And we are on tee box B. There are a couple of options, and the other tee box is 200 yards over to our left, and it's an entirely different hole.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah. So kind of the south tee and the west tee, just depending on where you play it, it definitely changes kind of the visual. You either have a long green or a deeper green to hit into.
I would have to think that you frequently hear from visitors who come here to play for the first time ever who are pretty surprised at what they found in downtown Grand Rapids.
Yeah, a lot of surprising responses, just with the feel that you get, the elevation changes, and then the drive to downtown's only a few minutes away.
We talk about this DeVries Trail throughout the state, and of course 3 of the courses in the greater Grand Rapids area, and then we head up to the Upper Peninsula to Graywalls. How would you describe kind of an overarching characteristic of Mike DeVries courses?
So I haven't played too many of his golf courses, but I know he kind of features kind of long par 4s that are kind of just, hopefully he can scratch out a bogey, and then he has a couple kind of short par 4s that are drivable, and I think that's kind of a feature Mike has, and we have him here at the Mines.
Okay, one last question. I'm going to give you your choice of just one hole on this course that you get to play. If that's all you have time for, your favorite hole out here.
My favorite hole out here? That's a great question. Yeah, that's a tough one. There's a lot of great holes. I would say probably number 8.
Why?
Just the visual. Looking at the kind of off the tee, Mike kept the original kind of a sand pit that was actually part of the Mines back in the 1900s or early 1900s, and just the green. It's very large, but there's definitely a lot of elevation to it, and you have to choose the right club.
That does lead me to one bonus question. I said we were done. The name of the course, the Mines, because this property was that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yep. It's built right on the gypsum mines of Grand Rapids.
Well, thanks for your hospitality and for showing us around and showing us how to hit the ball, because you're better at this than I am. But you're a highly skilled professional. I'm just a TV guy.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Welcome back to our special featuring the Mike DeVries Golf Trail throughout Michigan. Our final stop takes us over the Mackinac Bridge to the beautiful Upper Peninsula, where, Michael, you did something really special with this Graywalls property. How do you explain what you did on that piece of land?
Well, it's an unbelievable piece of property, like you said. 200 feet of elevation change, granite walls, full mature pine trees, and then in the southern end of the property, there's just pure sand. So it's great golf terrain, and there's actually really good material there to work with. So it's an adventure. Just like the UP, it's a wild place, and the golf course has, spectacular views at Lake Superior and undulating ground and lots of shot options, and it's just all out fun the whole way.
Of all of your public course designs, that one is gaining the most national acclaim, which is amazing considering the location is fairly remote. It's in Marquette, Michigan.
Sure.
What's it like when you see your work honored in that way?
Well, it's a special feeling, and it is an honor to be recognized, whether no matter what sort of list you're in or things like that. But it's a unique place, and it's worth that destination. It's not as far north as it is. It's not really that
right.
difficult to get there.
Right.
You got daily flights from Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit. And the drive's great because you get to the UP and you lose cell signal most of the time, and so you just listen to music and you chill out.
You go up and relax. You don't go up there to be uptight.
Exactly.
You go up there and you take out your clubs and you enjoy an experience that I think is really unlike most others at Graywalls, which is the final stop on our DeVries Golf Trail. Let's head to Marquette. This marvelous place has gained national acclaim, and Mark Gilmore, you've been here since day one. To see Graywalls take shape and then to grow in reputation, what's it been like?
It's been quite a journey, you know, to have something like this special up in the UP of all places, Marquette, Michigan. So right to be up here, right on Lake Superior, it is just a majestic golf course. It's stunning. It's neat to see everybody come up here and enjoy this golf course because there's nothing like it in the Midwest that I've seen.
There's not these rock wall formations that were already here. It's not like they were, unnaturally brought in. They frame these holes in such a majestic way. Like you said, I haven't seen its equal anywhere in America.
I certainly haven't. There's certainly nothing like in the Midwest, and that's why it's so cool to see everybody come from downstate Michigan, lower Wisconsin, Chicago area to come up here and enjoy this beautiful golf course.
When I look at this terrain and I marvel at the mind that helped create it, the mind of Mike DeVries, it seems like one of those perfect pieces of property for someone as creative as him. Why was Mike such a good fit for this project?
I think he has an innate ability to have his courses and his holes framed with nature. I don't know if there's anybody else in the business quite as good or talented as he is right now.
As you and I stand on a rather high point here, I'm sure everybody watching can understand that we are in some considerable breeze, but part of the fun of playing Graywalls is dealing with the elements.
Yes.
And whether it's a little chilly or a little breezy, you've got to bring your game here. This is not a course that you can be way off target.
No, that is true. I mean, you're going to experience every element out here, every lie. I mean, there's not a flat lie on the golf course, but that's what makes it fun. I mean, you're not going to play the same golf course day in and out or even hold the hole. I think the exciting thing here is a lot of people say they can't wait to get to the next hole out here because they want to see what's around the corner.
Mining is a part of the culture here. It's a part of the commerce of the Marquette and the northern Michigan area. And a lot of this region that surrounds the golf course and some of the golf course itself has that feel to it, kind of a mining feel.
Yes, and actually the history of the property, Bill, is that this is an old gold and silver mine from the 1800s. And you can kind of see that out here with all the rock formations, like you said. We had the natural quartz formations kind of laying all over when we were doing the construction for the golf course. And it's different.
I would have to think that you're seeing a lot more first-time visitors come up to play. Perhaps they've read about it or seen it or watched the show about Graywalls. What are you hearing from first-time guests after they finish their round?
Wow. Literally. I mean, even taking them up to the first tee is just an experience because we take them from our existing course and we bring them up to the first tee of Graywalls. They're high-fiving, they're wow, taking pictures, and everybody's trying to get a picture to take home. It's just that kind of experience. I mean, it's a blast to see, and it's exciting to be around.
There are some national publications that have been around for many decades, and when you get their highest rankings, it's something you put up on the wall.
Sure.
There's your Golf Weeks, your Golf Digests, and as you get more and more of those accolades, I would have to think that it has the phone ringing more and more often with people saying, it looks like I better come play this place.
Yes, and and that's really the thing we think. If we can get somebody up here to Marquette to play Graywalls, they're going to go back and tell their club, their members, and they're going to say, wow, there's something really special up there. I mean, that's our best marketing, is having somebody actually come up and play it.
Now that was fun. Those were 4 fantastic courses that you designed. And as you look back at all that work, what thoughts do you have?
Great people, fantastic sites, a lot of diversity too, and in the terrain and the things that we were able to build and develop, whether that's the style, whether it's the views or the rock at Graywalls, being in the city at the mines, simple yet sort of complex golf at Diamond Springs with 1 cut of grass and 3/4 of an inch bluegrass and bent grass greens, and then Pilgrims Run, which is kind of a very elite kind of feel with bent grass tees, greens, and fairways, and an up north feel also, only a half an hour out of Grand Rapids.
I know that golfers are frequently looking for unique road trip ideas, and here's one. play all the courses on the trail. It'll take you on a bit of a drive. You'll see some of the most beautiful terrain and territory in the country, and you'll get to experience this man's craftsmanship from Grand Rapids all the way to Marquette. Thanks for watching. Mike, thank you for sharing with us your artistry.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.